Hey boys, made you a video. Right, so see here, AVI needs to go on this side and put the Wenco on this side. Just swap them over. I put them in the wrong spots. It's part of the reason is because we made this a little bit short. So there's 5 coaxes here, mate. 2 of them are for the Wenco GPS. You will need right angle connectors and they'll go on the bottom of the Wenco unit. All the other Wenco connectors will stick out the top of the parcel shelf here, man. There's a little pitch and roll sensor down here. That's for the Wenco. The Wenco harnessing is all in except for the power. I'll show you that in a minute. Obviously these connectors here, you can't fuck them up. They're not same, like they're all different. So just be careful as you plug them in. I think they've got labels on them. Nah, basically if you're plugging into the wrong one, it basically won't go. So happy days, man. This one here is the CAN bus. Okay, so all you got to do is when you've got it all together is just plug these 2 in. That's all. That's just a little short tail that runs to the sensor down there, man. AVI is a normal installation, mate. You've got to fit the aux power module to the side here and then run its cabling down through here. So you'll see it runs down through this. There's a hole here. Underneath there's that gland plate. Just pop it through the big slot cut in the gland plate or put an extra gland in if you're really feeling fancy, but I'm happy days either way, mate. Tony's going to go through the power for you. There's an Ethernet cable here. It needs to be tested and then it needs labels. Just do a test on the fluke. This is a pigtail for the Ethernet cable. That's the one for the Wenco, so it plugs in that end. And then this end goes into the Wenco unit itself, okay? Right, what else do we need to go through? So this one here is the power for the Wenco. I've just asked Pete Dellis what fuse position he normally uses for the ICC, so I can tell you which position to use for Wenco. Yo! Back to our regular programming. Right, so I do not need ignition connected, okay? So only connect up battery, just cap and stow this one, put a bit of heat shrink on it, tidy it away, make it look pretty. This is like a 5 meter long fucking harness, man, so can you please shorten it? Leave a bit of a service loop maybe on the back of the parcel shelf assembly, but yeah, like it doesn't need to be this ridiculously long length because it's only, this is going, so this connects to the aux power module, so that's what we're using, all right? That's what I'm telling you, we need to figure out what fuse position it's going to use, okay? The aux power module will run down under here and to the back of these 2, okay? So Tony's having a look at this as well, but this rail here is battery. This one is ignition, and this whole block here is also ignition. So we got to hook up battery and ignition to the aux power module basically the same thing as the 793s, mate. Some of these fuses, if you look on the other side, they won't have wires in them. The guys have just, looks like Westrack's just put fuses in for spares. So even though it looks like they're used, they won't be used on the other side. Pick 2 empty ones, and then yeah, battery and ignition, mate, same as usual. Use the little terminals that we supply in our kits. I'll show you the outside. There's some of the other connectors for the Wencos. They're big suckers. They're really bulky, so they're just going to come out of there, down and into, sorry, out of this side, along here, and then down into that hole where they currently are now. This thing, I can't do much about this. This is a fucking nightmare. It's just the way Wenco have it. It's fucking annoying, but that's just what you got to do, man. Wenco's here, mounted on its little plate, so all you got to do is bolt it in. Hardware we'll just leave somewhere for you. There's a fucking serial number. All right, I got to get a photo of that, but that's not for you. I'll go around the other side, mate. Right, coaxes all done. They just got to be terminated, obviously. 5 of. They all run through a nice little gland plate here. This gland plate's still loose. Once you get the rest of the cabling through, then we'll tighten that up. And then that's the back of the OEM fuse blocks, mate. There's position number 10 here on that one that I indicated as battery. That looks empty, so see how there's no wire in it? It's hard for you to see, but yep. And then just use a corresponding position on this side. I reckon position 9. That looks pretty good right there, mate. So that one there for ignition, and that one there for battery. 10 on that side, 9 on that side. That's about it, dude. Oh, one more thing. This wire here, this is our reverse input, so that's connected to 321 reverse wire. This black wire, I need you to extend and then follow it all the way back. You'll see this little harness here. Follow it all the way back along here, blah, 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 to the ground block here. It needs to go to a ground. So when we put in the ground for our aux fuse block, that's where that'll go. Antenna bar, right, I want, oh, no, they've already put cable ties on that, that's awesome. I just need you to bolt that back up, just an M10 bolt. Besides that, I think we're pretty happy with this. Maybe 1 or 2 ties on, yeah, there's a slot there so we can get an extra cable tie there, just wherever you can. Just a couple here to tighten it up, just keep it nice and tidy, man. This is our very first one of these, so I want this thing to look fucking mint. That's about it. I'll shout out your handover.